Good morning. Good morning and welcome. You're here in plenty of time. We'll be getting started shortly. Good morning, Sherilyn. Happy to put a face with a name.
Right? It's been quite a fun ride with learning how to navigate all that.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a great time to get another cup of coffee. M. Cox computer does not have camera or mic, so here just listening, that's great. You'll be able to have access to all the resources. Great to see who all the early birds are. Good morning, Deanna. Kareem's joining us from Shawnee, Oklahoma. Karen from Sequoia High School in Tahlequah. Looks like we have a couple people from Tahlequah. She has a colleague, Kim, there. It's great. For those of you that are already here, if you would like to go ahead in the chat box, you can introduce yourself and tell us something you're looking forward to this summer. So let us know who you are and something you're looking forward to. While you're waiting, if you are interested in having the slides to this presentation, you can go to that bit.ly URL, bit.ly/OSDE_Connect. It is case sensitive. Or if you'd like to use your camera on your phone and access the QR code, you can do that. We have Deanna joining us from Mustang Horizon, 6th grade science. Oh, Deanna, that's wonderful. You're going to see your granddaughter live for the first time. I bet you're counting the days for that. It's great. Shiloh is here from Terrell Elementary. Sherilyn, you're gonna do some fun activities and remodel before you begin your 44th year in education. Congratulations. And look at you, here you are in the summer, still learning. That's wonderful. Welcome, Tanya from Silo. And Rebecca, great, finishing your master's degree in leadership. Look at all the different things you've taught. You're so well-rounded. Leslie's gonna spend time with kids and grandkids. Sounds great. Those of you who are just joining, we're putting something in the chat box. We're introducing ourselves and putting something in the chat box that you're looking forward to this summer. Alyssa's an art teacher. She's going to be making a quilt. That sounds very creative. Welcome, Sarah. Oh, you're working on world languages standards. Wonderful. So you know my colleague Kathleen Skinner, I bet. And Gerald from Tahlequah. Welcome. Hi, Andrea.
Okay, I want to.
Welcome, Sarah. Yay for you, going to Florida for a couple of weeks. Dig your toes in the sand. Hi, Dorinda. Oh, wheat harvest begins next week. Those are going to be some long days. Hi, Rayma. Teaching swimming lessons, wonderful. And I love your positive attitude, looking towards an awesome 21-22 school year. Hello, Amy, welcome. You get to do Taos, New Mexico in a week. Beautiful area. Welcome, Camelia. Emerson North High School. Look at you already working on awesome lesson plans for the school year. Oh, and a girls' trip to Virginia Beach with your sisters. Won't that be great? Hello, Mike. Very busy summer, too much to mention. Well, I hope it's all fun stuff. Hello, Rosa. We have a librarian, wonderful, from Cushing. Oh, she's working on STEM lesson plans and maker spaces. Love it. Hello, Sarah. We have a gardener in the house. That's great. For those of you just joining us, we're introducing ourselves in the chat box and we're announcing something that we're looking forward to this summer. Hopefully it's a lot of relaxing, spending time with family and friends. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes. So if anyone wants to get a last minute drink or cup of coffee, at least you've found the session and are successfully logged in. Hello, I think it's Jenny Barnes from Thackerville Elementary. Hi, Jennifer. 2 foster kitties. I think those foster kitties are going to become your fur babies. Charlene, lots of time with Dad in Arkansas. I bet Dad is going to be happy to see you. Hi, Carrie. Working on your master's, spending time with the grandkids, and maintaining a large garden. Well, I'd say that's going to keep you plenty busy. Welcome, Linda. You just came back from Branson. So wonderful to hear of people being able to travel and be with their family and friends this summer. Hello, Amanda. Ooh, you're going to South Texas where it will be hot. Hopefully you'll be on the beach down there. Hi, Drew. Yay, you get to go on vacation for the first time in a long time. It's great. I'm enjoying living through all of your ideas about vacations here. It's wonderful. Welcome, Jason. Glad you're joining us this morning. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Those of you that have just logged on, we're taking a minute and putting something in the chat box that you're looking forward to this summer. introducing ourselves. For those of you that like to have the slides to the presentation up front, there are two ways you can access them here from the title slide. You can go to that URL link. It's a bit.ly link. You can download the slides there, or you can use your camera on your phone and use that the QR code. You can follow along on your phone. This presentation will be recorded, and all the resources and slides will be available after this presentation. Good morning, Ron. I have a wonderful colleague named Karen Leonard, and you will notice in the chat box, she just posted the link to the slide deck for those of you that would just like to click on the link. Karen will be our technical assistance, and she's going to actually present a little portion of this today. So Ron's doing a 10-day golf playing tour in the Southeast. Sounds like a wonderful golf adventure. That's a lot of golf over 10 days. We'll start here in just a couple of minutes. So glad you've joined this morning. Don't know if anyone has rain where you are. It's kind of just started here in the Oklahoma City metro area. We had some thunder, and I've looked outside and the rain is coming down. All you gardeners out there, the gardens need a little drink. Okay, we'll get started in just a minute. Welcome. Oh, Susan, you're very adventuresome. Kayaking and sitting on the porch swing. You like to be moving either in the water or on your porch. She's given a shout out to Tulsa Regional STEM Alliance event. Excellent. Sherilyn's even opened her windows to let some of that cool air in and listen to the rain. Wonderful. Hello, Abby. She's going to travel also. Great. Well, it is 10:30, and I want to be mindful of everyone's time. I'm so happy that you joined us this morning. I imagine we'll still have a few more joining in the next few minutes, but we can get started with some of our logistics here at the very beginning. So welcome, everyone. I've enjoyed hearing what some of you are looking forward to this summer. Sounds like some great plans. I am Susan Pinson, and I serve as Executive Director of Professional Learning at the State Department of Education. Prior to moving to Oklahoma, I spent most of my career in St. Louis, Missouri. I worked as a teacher in grades 2, 4, 5, and 6, and then I was a district technology integration specialist. And then I moved to this great state of Oklahoma. I've been here 11 years now, and enjoying the adventure here. I have worked at a Title I school as a district data and technology integration leader, and then now at the State Department. My work here at the State Department focuses on professional learning and being the site administrator for a statewide learning management platform that some of you may or may not be aware that the State Department has. I also do work with teacher induction, supporting new teachers and mentors. So as we proceed, I imagine everyone has become Zoom experts over the past year. However, just in case your district happened to be a Google Meets, or Google Hangouts, or some other platform, the Zoom navigation tools are fairly easy to navigate. You'll notice a black bar down at the bottom of your screen that allows you to mute and unmute and to turn your video on and off. If you ever want to unmute yourself and ask a question, I invite you to do so. There also is a place where you can click on the list of participants, and there are some features there where you can raise your hand if you have a question and you want to wait till a certain time to ask it. You can raise your hand, and we'll, my moderator, Karen, will be looking for those. And also, I think everyone has found the chat box. So welcome to everyone. We've had some more people joining us. I'm impressed David has joined us, and he's moving on to retirement, but that just shows that the learning never stops. Here he is today. I'm thinking I would love to not only know your names, but I'd also like to know which town or region of the state you are coming from today. So if you can click on the participants and find your name, you should be at the top of the list. And then there are 3 dots next to your name where you can rename yourself. And so you can see that I have an example there where I've renamed myself with my first name and then Oklahoma City. So I'll give you a minute to find that rename feature. And it will be interesting for me to see where across the state of Oklahoma we have people joining us from today. So I see some people working on that. Wonderful group here today. It's great. All right. Thank you, Sherilyn. You're here from Mid-Dow. I can start seeing the locations pop in. That's great. All right, while you're still working on the renaming, we're gonna move ahead a little bit. When you think back to this past year, many of you engaged in online teaching format of some sort. You may have been a school that did a period of time where 100% of your teaching was online with your students. There were some schools that had a hybrid model where they had some students in person and some students that were online. I want to shift you from thinking not of online teaching, but I want to think about online professional learning, where you as an educator are learning in some type of online format. Karen's going to drop a link in the chat box, and it's going to move us to a collaborative document. And everyone should be able to type in this document. There's the link for you. And you are going to be putting on the left side any benefits you see to online professional learning and any challenges. And just pick any cell, and the cells keep going. And if we need to make more cells, we can certainly do so. But I'd love to get your voices in the room. When you think about yourself as a learner, what are some of the benefits and challenges of online learning? It's fascinating to me. We have such a positive group here because everyone started first in the benefits column. There are definitely some overlaps between online teaching and online professional learning. I wanted to frame this though under the lens of your personal learning. Great. Yeah, making sure we still have enough lines. Look like we do, enough rows. Karen, I'm not able to see if recording is on. It was supposed to start recording automatically, so just confirming. Thank you for that. Excellent ideas coming in. Wow, we've filled a lot of these lines. Just gave you a few more if needed. So we'll take another minute or so. This is incredible to me how we've got almost neck and neck on both the benefits side and the challenges side. All right, we'll wrap this up in another minute and then we'll have a conversation about this. These are great. One word that I'm seeing many times on the benefit side is the flexibility idea, the flexibility of being done anywhere, anytime, learning on your own pace, individualized, the fact that you can connect to others across the state. Yeah, seeing lots with that flexibility. On the challenges side, I'm seeing things that definitely was an impact for many of you in your teaching this year with the connectivity issues and the internet, limited bandwidth. We clearly have some people joining us today from rural areas. Someone says they live down a dirt road and the internet's not great. I am also seeing that theme of the in-person contact. There's still that social emotional piece where even when you as a learner are learning, it's you're not connecting with people, you're not in a group setting, and so that's coming through also. Beautiful. Does anyone want to unmute themselves and speak to either the benefits or the challenges, if anyone wants to elaborate on anything? And maybe our document has said it all.
I will, Susan. This is Drew from Yukon. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi Drew,
Okay.
welcome.
Hey, yeah, I was just going to mention, I just couldn't find my mute button. I was lost there for a little bit. So as far as online learning goes, you know, to me, some of the major benefits are obviously scheduling, but there's also some pretty cool things you can do with technology when everyone, you know, is on a Zoom or something with, you know, kind of like the tool that you're using right now, where you get instant feedback from everyone at the same time. A lot of times that's not available in in-person PD. In terms of the drawback, or you know, it's very easy to hide in a online PD and just turn, you know, and turn your screen off, and there's no social pressure to participate. So it's easy to kind of switch off and, you know, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Drew, for sharing that. That so well said. That connection piece is very strong when you are with people, and it's interesting that social pressure, you can certainly zone out, as I saw someone say on here. So thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share anything? It's
And I'd like to share. I was just going to say that in a traditional PD setting, I don't think I would have seen such a diverse or complete list of ideas from everyone in the session, because time just doesn't allow for that. And I know that, like Drew was just saying about some of the connections are gone, but in other ways, there are many ways that we can connect, and everyone's able to have that personal voice.
Karen, are you able to see how many participants we have in our session today?
There's about 133, not counting you and me.
Okay, so we had 130-ish people within a matter of a couple minutes. Everyone got their voice on this collaborative document. And so the way you articulated that, Karen, made me think, I don't even know because I can't see it. So we have, 133 people spread across the state. And within a few minutes, we were able to collaborate on this document. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else? All right, we will move ahead. And that document that we just generated, as I think about professional learning that we are offering here at the State Department of Education, it's important for me to keep those benefits and challenges in mind, because I want to make sure that we're reaching people across the state of Oklahoma. And how are we doing on addressing some of the challenges that are keeping educators from engaging with professional learning we're providing? On the positive side, the things that you listed there, how can we continue to incorporate better these ideas in our professional learning sessions? Well, I want to take you back a little bit in time to the year 2017. That year, the State Department of Education received a $2 million 3-year statewide grant. The grant was given to the State Department of Education from the Council of Chief State School Officers, which is CCSSO, and JP Morgan Chase. The purpose of this grant was to focus on early college and career initiatives. You may have heard of the program that focuses on individualized college career academic plans, or ICAP. And during 3 years, one of the wonderful benefits of this grant is that the State Department of Education set up a statewide learning management system that had modules created that counselors could share with students to help them think about career or college path choices that might interest them. And so some of those modules focused on things of careers in science fields, or careers in the health sciences, or careers in engineering type fields. And so the first iteration of our statewide learning management system was called OK Edge Virtual Learning Community. And for 3 years, while that platform was being built, the State Department of Education realized that now that we have the technology infrastructure for this platform already created, how can we leverage this now and provide professional learning resources for educators beyond just the focus of college and career ready? And so very slowly, other types of modules began to populate that platform. And so now here we are in 2021, and I would like to congratulate you on being the very first public revealing of our rebranded name for our platform. Our platform is called OSDE Connect. And what's beautiful about this is the URL for the platform did not change. If you happen to be an early adopter and you were on what was then called the OK Edge platform, You don't have to change anything. And our new branded name aligns beautifully with the URL. It's osdeconnect.ok.gov. We will be spending some time today exploring this and also getting ideas from you on types of content that you would like to see on there. So in our second iteration of this learning management platform, we want to make you aware of a couple of ways that you can see the content. For some of you, you may be saying, well, I didn't even know we had a learning management platform with free modules of professional learning. I didn't even know it. Well, what kinds of modules are on there? So there may be some of you that don't have an account and you want to do a little exploring and digging before you set up an account. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute, and my colleague Karen, she came up with an incredible idea for how we can do that. So Karen, I'm going to allow you to share.
I think I have that right now. Welcome. I did put a link in the chat box, and it will take you to this website that I'm sharing right now. We knew that sometimes it's difficult in order to find out what all modules are available in our OSDE Connect. We wanted to make sure people didn't have to go in and create an account if they weren't ready yet. So we have on the professional development page something called an Airtable. And every module that is available for our Oklahoma population is available in here. And I want you to notice there's really an easy way to sort through this because there's just, as Susan said, a plethora of modules. But if you notice up at the top of this table, there's the little filter icon. And when I click on filter icon, I can add a filter. And I think probably the easiest way to search for modules would be according to your role. So where it says where, I would select roles of those who may want to complete this module. And then it gives me another selection, and I can go through if I am sharing a module with a school nurse or a teacher or administrator. There are many, many roles that you could select, but I'm just going to select teacher now and then click out of that little menu. And now every module that's related to a teacher, I can see that right here, is listed. But I also know that teacher may not be specific enough. So I may want to add a second filter. And for that second filter, I am going to change it to what is the appropriate primary tag. And we'll be making a video so that you can follow through these steps at another time. But I'm going to say the appropriate primary tag might be, I'll just select mathematics. And again, I can click out and click out. And now there is one module at this moment under mathematics. And again, I can go back here and switch, and maybe I want PE and health. And click out again to remove those. And now I have 5 different modules just designated for PE and health. But I would really like to know what that module contains. So I can click on one of these cards and open it up. And it gives me all of the information I would need for that module. The title, the people who would complete it, a primary tag, and then a secondary tag. It gives you a thorough description of the content information within that module. It shares the number of PD points that a person completing the module would receive. And some of the modules actually require a specific redemption code, and that would have then a person's email address beneath that. But if it does not require a redemption code, I know that I could just go into OSDE Connect and find that module. I can search for it by title there, or again, some of the filtering. But with all of the different options that we have within OK Edge, it just kind of makes the search process a little smoother. So I hope that helps you some. And Susan, I am going to stop sharing my screen and pass it back to you.
Thank you so much. Well, I consider the format that, oops, just a second, gotta hit the button. There we go. I consider that format that Karen just showed you, I call that window shopping. You're outside the platform, peeking in and saying, I wonder if they have any professional learning on this topic. So you could spend a lot of time in that Airtable kind of sorting through and seeing some topics that you would like to explore. Once we get inside the platform, there are multiple ways that you can also find topics. This is a screenshot of what the catalog looks like inside the OSDE Connect platform. The catalog is arranged by tags. When modules are put in the platform, they're tagged with a couple of key topics that someone might search for. And so I know we have an art teacher on today. I just wanted people to see there are topics for a wide range. I'm showing you several screens here of topics in the catalog. And we'll see in a minute how to find this catalog. I wanted to share with you just a few types of sample modules under certain topics. Obviously, this past year, student wellness was on the top of a lot of our minds, and we have many modules that focus on student wellness. I know many of you are thinking as you're heading into this next academic year that supporting student wellness may be a strong focus of the work that you're doing in addition to content. So some sample modules that are in there, we've got a module about being trauma aware, what a trauma-informed classroom, the characteristics of that. We have a module about how you support students' SEL, social emotional learning during COVID. And I would argue past COVID, we need to continue that. We have a module available for administrators. So if you're an administrator, we have a pretty rigorous module on school safety and security. And this is actually a module, you'll notice a little badge looking icon on that module. This is actually a module where the participants that go through this earn a micro credential for their work. And this is targeted towards school administrators. We'll talk a little bit more about badges and micro-credentials towards the end. Then, of course, under that academic bucket, there are so many things. We have a module for how you provide feedback and clarity in an ELA classroom. Karen, this module on mathematics PLC probably didn't come up in your filtering because I think it may be behind a redemption code right now or not published live right now. It may be undergoing some work. And then here's one on incorporating technology into health and PE, but we are working to get content for all the modules for all the content areas. Those of you who serve special education students, one of the modules that has been very popular this past year is the module on dyslexia awareness. It is a module that is required for people that are teaching reading in the early grades. And so this is a module that allows you to meet that requirement in an online setting. We have modules addressing certain needs, such as autism spectrum disorders. There's a wonderful module about high leverage practices in special education, which also tie into high leverage practices in general education. And then there are modules on there that are either for compliance or this bucket of certification. I had to show a picture of the bloodborne pathogens because that module topic is always the joke every year about bloodborne pathogens and completing it. It's very important. The topic is not a joke, but it tends to be a joke in terms of, is that professional development or is that I've just got to click through this? But I want you to know that we have an awesome module on bloodborne pathogens that was created with content that has been reviewed by the Department of Health, as well as our science experts here at the State Department of Education. So if your district has an outdated way of providing that compliance module, there's a free one here on OSDE Connect. There's also, speaking of certification, this is not to talk about teacher licensure certification or a certificate that you would get at an institute of higher ed. But if you are thinking of taking the exam to be certified in English learners, ESL certification, we actually have a module there that will prepare you for that exam. And then one way that districts across the state have been using our platform is SDE has provided a platform for special ed boot camp, and different districts are setting up their own boot camp. It's being facilitated by teachers within that district. The State Department of Education has provided the content, and we can create for you a module tailored for your district so that you can provide a boot camp for people in your district. So all sorts of module types in the platform. So let's talk a minute before we get into the platform. I want to give you a little roadmap for navigation once you get inside. If you have never been inside our platform, there are basically 4 tabs going across the top. And once you have enrolled in a module, the first tab that will come up is the one based on content. And it will give you a navigation bar on the left side that will show you all the units and lessons that are associated with that module. Some modules have assignments. Now, when you hear the word assignment, it might just be a self-reflection. It might be a short quiz. In this particular module on Introduction to Special Education, it looks like they have a few types of activities. There's even a case scenario submission. So obviously the facilitator is going to be reading those scenarios. The third tab is a space for collaboration. Here we have 130 something people on from across the state. You might be a teacher in one area of your state, and you might be the only teacher in your district who teaches a certain content, or you have a certain role and there aren't other teachers that have that role. You might be able to connect with someone in a module inside the platform. And this is a place where you can pose questions and have a professional discussion back and forth. And then that last tab is the information tab. And that's just going to let you know some information about who the facilitator is. This would be a place also that many modules, when you finish completing them, you can download a PD certificate that will state a number of PD hours on it. And then you can turn that into your professional learning committee and get the credit for completing that module. So with all of those teasers to show you what's in the module, I'd like to take a portion of our time now for you to actually create an account if you haven't done so, or to log in if you haven't done so. If you will notice, and Karen will drop in the chat box for us, she's going to drop a link to this login page. OSDE Connect, ok.gov. And you'll notice that if you already have an account, there's a place down at the bottom for you to sign in. If you need to set up an account, right below the sign in button, there's a link that says get started. You'll be asked to answer a few questions if this is your first time there. And so what we're going to be doing, I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to either set up an account or log in. I'm going to advance my slides for just a minute so you can see what we're going to do. If you have never been on the platform, when you first get to your home dashboard, you're going to see a message that says you don't have any modules yet, but you're ready to do some shopping and adding. So you'll find a big green add button. You can either click on that add button and it will take you to the catalog. There is also a search bar at the top where you might search by a tag name or a module name, or you may actually be selecting topics from the catalog. And so what I wanted us to know ahead of time is we're going to take some individual exploration of module time. Set up an account or log in. I want you to explore at least one module. If you prefer to keep your camera off while you're doing this, that's fine. I've set a time for us to do this of between 15 to 20 minutes. Karen and I are going to stay unmuted and on, and we can certainly answer any questions you have. I'm going to back up for just a second so that from my sharing of the screen, you can see. I'm going to real quickly log in as a learner. And just again, to give you a reminder, once you get inside, if it is your first time, you'll have some questions to answer. But you're going to click on the green add button to find a module. You can either find them from, this is the full catalog, and I want you to be aware that there is a button, I'll scroll down just a little bit farther, that says view all. So if you want to see all the tiles within a category, you can expand that. There is a back button that will take you back to the full catalog. And to find those tiles, you need to scroll to the very bottom of where all of the picture tiles show. And then here are the tiles by tags. And so we're going to spend just a minute for you to get in, set up an account, and about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes for you to explore. I'd like you to see if you can add a module. Find some modules. Go ahead and line those tiles up in your dashboard of things that you want to explore later. There's no time limit. There's no cost. They don't expire. And Karen and I are going to be here to answer some questions for you. And when you come back, I'd love to hear from you. A resource you found, a module you found that connects to what you do, and just getting you ready to have some time this summer to explore OSDE Connect. And Karen, I think you may be monitoring the chat box to let me know if people are having questions. For some reason, I can't see it anymore. I was able to see it before.
We do. How long does it take for the site to reset password information? You may want to go ahead, Heidi, and check in your like spam, or make sure that you've checked in all of the email folders to see if maybe it got tucked away, but it should be pretty instantaneous.
Yes,
for resetting a password.
And was that Heidi that asked that?
Yes.
Okay, Heidi, if it does not come, if you have another email address that you want to set up another account with, later you could go in and we could merge those two accounts. You could indicate which email address you want to use. So that's another workaround for today to maximize your time in there.
Susan Newberry says she's having some issues. She's unable to get in. She's turned her firewall off, but still cannot access it. Susan, I just placed another direct link because I know the first time I posted it, I didn't have the HTTPS in front of it, and just want to make sure that maybe that would help.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks, Heidi. I'm glad you got your link. Susan, while you do have a second, one thing that I do know is when we share the onboarding document, the sharing privileges. Okay, great.
Yes, Karen, we have a help document for you. We certainly know that there are a lot of things to think about right now. So Karen's going to drop in the chat. There's a document that we call the onboarding document for learners. And that document will walk you through all the steps again. Also in that document, when you have time, there are some links to some short videos of hints on how to navigate inside the platform.
Elisa says at the moment she doesn't see any fine arts modules in here, and that they say they've been deleted. And I'm going to go in and look myself as well, because I was pretty confident.
And I'm stopping sharing for a second so that I can see. So Elisa, one thing I want to share with you is that our fine arts modules are coming. We actually have a grant that's called an Art Tech grant that is going to be rolling out this fall to some pilot schools. And these the pilot schools are going to be having teaching artists, and there are going to be modules that are developed in OSDE that will focus on theater, fine arts, and drama. I guess theater and drama are the same. Drama, fine arts. I don't know if music is a part of that or not. But so we are going to be building out a lot of fine arts. And if you are a fine arts teacher and you're saying, hey, I would like to work with some other fine arts teachers in the state, we also are having experts in the state that are helping us build content. The beauty of this platform is it's so flexible and open for people to contribute to it. So we're looking for that. Okay, so I'm also seeing STEM modules. Excellent. Laura says I can suggest a resource if you need one. Laura, I'd like to have that. In fact, later in our presentation, I've got a place where I'm going to have people put down suggestions and things like that. World languages. There is not anything for world languages yet. So that is one that's going to be on our need to create. So if Sarah, if you are a world languages teacher and you would love to help develop some content and share some best practices, I would love to get your help on that. And I'll be sharing all my contact information at the end.
Susan, the onboarding document still does not allow anyone to access it. I don't know if you would be able to change that permission.
Change that. I
Great.
thought I had done that, but that's good to know. And the PDF one, if you open it in Google Docs, it kind of changes the formatting. So I'm going to go get the original one, and I'm going to, Karen, I'm going to have you put it in the chat box.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll find it another way.
Good, Sarah. That's exciting that I've heard the book Maslow Before Bloom is very, it's a great read. And so I'm excited that you found a resource related to that.
Some of you may be interested to know that we've actually had a lot of book studies that have been done this summer, or actually last year, on OSDE Connect. All right, so Karen, let's see if I can navigate to this document. All right, Karen, let's see if that document will open for the onboarding.
And yes, it did. Okay.
Great, and we may need to drop,
Post that.
post it again. Yes, Karen's going to be getting a computer science module created for anyone that teaches computer science. Or computer. I'm getting a question about adding something to a home page or flagging it to watch later. I'm wondering, are you finding a module and you want to put it on your dashboard? If that's the case, then what you would do is you would click on the module and it would say enroll. And once you have enrolled, then it will appear on your dashboard. Go ahead and open it up and then you can just close out of it. Something else, I'm gonna share my screen again here for a minute because there's something else that is helpful to know. Get my presentation back to where it was and then. All right, share my screen. When you are inside the platform, if you ever want to go back to the main dashboard, there is a blue and white chevron star shape up in the top left, and that button always navigates you back to your dashboard. So that one question that came in about, if I find something and I want to flag it for later, just go ahead and open that module whenever you find it. I've already enrolled in that one, but if I found a new one here, the dyslexia one, that may have a redemption code. Let me go to. If this were a new module and I wanted to wait and review it later, I'd go ahead and click enroll and then just say open. Doesn't mean I have to do it now. And when I go back with the chevron to my dashboard, now I can see that that module has been added to my dashboard. So you can find modules and add them. And as I said, in a minute, we're going to be getting some ideas on other types of content that you want. We have right now over 60,000 users on this platform. And in the past year, We have several hundred modules available. Not all of them are showing right now because some are hidden behind a redemption code. This is a space, though, that is going to, I imagine in this next year, we're going to continue to have several hundred more modules being developed. And so we're looking forward to continuing to build it out. Stop sharing for a minute again so I can watch the chats coming in.
I've kind of been taking care of that for you. You're
Oh,
set.
great, great, thank you. And my D. McMillan, I am not thinking we have a module yet on guided reading, but I'm gonna log back in as my learner 7. Several ways that I can search. I might search under this where I'd be searching for a tag. So I might put in special education. I don't know why nothing is coming up under that tag because I know there are things under that.
I think we need to make sure we go back through and do a double check to make sure that everything is tagged. I think there has not been as much traffic lately, so
Yes.
new information may have been added that we need to check back on.
And that will clear up this search bar for right now. And I don't know D. McMillan. I don't know a first name, so I'm calling you D. McMillan because that's what I'm seeing in the chat box. You can click on this add and you will see tag name, big buckets going down the side here, academic planning, accountability, behavior, and academics. There is a view all button. And actually, I realized I'm not sharing that screen yet. So let me go back here. So what I did, I'm going to go back out, is when you are on your dashboard, click on that green add button. There are topics down the page, and there is a view all. Go down here to school climate, view all. And if you click on that, all the tiles relating to school climate will come up and you can find topics that way. A back button takes you back to the catalog. Beneath all of the tiles at the very bottom are the tags. Okay, we're going to take a couple more minutes and then I'd love to hear what anyone found.
Sarah, that's a great question. I will share that with Susan right now. So she said when she clicked view all, some of the modules said that they'd finished in May. Does that mean that they cannot do them now or just that the live part has finished?
Great question. There are some modules that have a time frame. If you can enroll in it, if the module is still showing and you can enroll in it, then you can still participate in that module. there are some modules where the facilitators are doing a blended, where they have a synchronous, asynchronous portion of that module, but where they're going to get together perhaps for an hour and have a Zoom meeting, and then people are going to go in the module and work asynchronously. If the facilitator has left that module in the platform, then most likely that means you can still access all of the resources in there. So yes, if you have done that. Now there are some that there is a time limit on them. There are some certification ones where they expire after a certain time. A way to delete a training from the dashboard. I'm seeing that question. Let me go back. If you look, and let me share my screen. Here are 3 modules that I have on my dashboard. If I hover over a module, I will get a little wheel in the top right. And if I click on it, it says that I can drop a course. And if I do that, are you sure? Okay. And then it says I'm no longer enrolled in it, and that has disappeared from my dashboard. Great question. So you definitely want to keep your dashboard with modules you'd like to do. So if you change your mind on something, no problem. You can find, if you hover, you'll get that wheel there. Karen, any other things to address before?
You know, I think the big question is something that you're going to cover in a few minutes. A lot of people are asking, what's planned for the future, or will there be modules on a specific topic? So
beautiful. Well, why don't we then forge ahead so that we can get to that part? And so, well, I'll also, if we have time at the end, would love to hear what anyone discovered or a resource. I think that now it's just kind of an aha awareness. I'm seeing, oh, there's some things in here and I want to go back and look at them. So this wasn't definitely a deep dive, but hopefully if this was your first dive into our platform, we hope you see that the pool is deep and getting deeper all the time. So we've talked about adding modules, and we've explored some modules. Throughout our exploration, I've been thinking the chat box has been giving us some observations, and I'm hearing some wonderings about, well, what's next for it? Let me first set the stage for you on what some of the goals of OSDE Connect are and where we're going in the future. Every educator and administrator in Oklahoma engages in a PL focus as part of the TLE evaluation system. And as part of your self-growth and professional learning, you are always thinking about, where can I learn more about? And so we hope that this platform will be an anchor for your professional learning focus work. And there may be a certain topic that is really intriguing to you, and you can find some resources here. Obviously, we see the value of the collaboration piece, especially with that collaboration tab. We have found that our platform is providing an avenue for teacher leaders across the state to share with other educators. Some of you found that book study on Maslow's blooming, Maslow before Bloom, Bloom before Maslow. And so there have been people that have decided, hey, I want to do a book study on this topic, or there's a certain topic that I'm interested in. And it gives people an opportunity to serve as a leader and almost set up a statewide PLC. And then you can see that we really have a lot of diverse professional learning options. Some modules that didn't come up for any of you to see because they're all hidden behind redemption codes, but believe it or not, every cafeteria worker in the state of Oklahoma is getting their professional learning requirements done on this platform. They have certain requirements that they have to do. And so that's been interesting to see how the Child Nutrition Office has really taken off with this platform. We have gently touched about this idea of certification requirements. And just so you know, we're looking ahead at some future type modules. In the area of special ed, we're going to be having a module for severe profound that will support that certification. For early childhood teachers, we're looking at a certification for paraprofessionals. We're also looking at computer science, which Karen will be leading that work, and also gifted talented. So there are a lot of options for thinking about how we can help ensure that people get the requirements they need in order to expand their skill set. And then of course, those required professional learning, the dyslexia awareness training, and then some of those required ones, trauma informed and bullying prevention, we're continuing to build out those. We have some big goals for OSDE Connect. There is a lot of work in the professional learning world that's focusing on people engaging in a type of learning asynchronously online that allows them to earn a small credential, a micro credential that shows they've gained some knowledge or skills in a certain topic. That micro credential is usually identified by someone having a badge. We saw that we have one module on our platform right now that actually offers that badge. It's in school safety and security, but we are looking to expand this much greater. Karen is exploring a micro credential for computer science, where a teacher would be able to engage in that type of learning and then be able to have a digital portfolio or a badge to show. Now, something that's different about professional learning that results in a micro-credential with a badge identification is it goes beyond completion. There are many modules on the platform that their purpose is for you to engage in learning, and once you've completed the module and perhaps done the assessments, et cetera, that go along with it, that you have some professional development hours that you've learned. For our modules that are going to include the concept of badging or a micro-credential, you will actually be submitting evidence along the way of your learning. A micro-credential has to have evidence of learning that is vetted by an expert and feedback is provided. So generally a micro-credential professional learning experience is going to take longer and have more rigorous assignments attached to it. But we definitely are heading in that direction with our platform. So stay tuned and keep checking back. Well, now is that document where I think we are overflowing with ideas, and I can't wait to capture these. Karen's going to drop a link in the chat box that is going to take you to a collaborative document. And I don't know if we'll need one or more than one, but this is a total open space. There are no heading columns. You can pick a cell in any of the 3 columns. And as you are thinking about this platform, can you give us some ideas? You know, some of the things that you were putting in the chat. We need to build out the fine arts. We need having a module on guided reading would be something that we'd like to see. I heard a call for STEM. We need some more modules on STEM. And what happens from this document is I share it with my colleagues here at the State Department of Education. Also, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for people out there that want to perhaps be a facilitator for some modules. I'm happy to talk with you about it. And and even besides, oh, this is excellent, even besides broad categories, don't be bashful about being specific on here. I'm seeing one on robotics. that's a big team effort that happens in schools. And I bet you there would be some teachers that would love guidance from other people that have done robotics. So yes, I love it. Anxiety in STEM. That would be an interesting module. Understanding by design. So yep, take a minute. I'm gonna be quiet and let you just really put some brainstorming there. Mm.
It's really exciting to see all these ideas. I'm loving it.
Play-based learning, that's going to be a big focus this year with our early childhood. Yeah, we're definitely going to be building out early childhood. Yeah, this is exciting. Mm. Just making sure we still have enough cells at the bottom. They keep. Mm-hmm. Whoever added the tribal-based lesson plans, I would love to get an email from you afterwards. I'd love to explore that further. So I'll be adding my contact information. That is definitely an area we need. So whoever you are, I need you. Yes.
I have a question on the person who put teacher courses for navigating technology platforms. Share specific platforms. I would love to know in more detail.
And Karen, at the end, let's be sure to get your contact information on there. I did not put that on the final slide. I wish I had. You're such a partner in this with me. This is all good stuff. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just a minute because I want to take about 5 minutes to have people have an opportunity to unmute yourselves. You can turn your camera on or off, it doesn't matter. But to just quickly engage in a discussion here, let me know either something you found on the platform, some wonderings you have, something you're looking for. I'd really like you to think about, this isn't the SDE, State Department of Ed's platform. This is actually our platform, our meaning all of us. This is a platform that really has potential for Oklahoma educators to guide the development of the content and for us to make it what we want. So, oh, Amy, yep, having to run. Anyone who'd love to, would like to unmute and talk to us for a minute about anything you've seen today or.
Yeah, I had a quick question, Susan. This is Drew again from UConn. You had mentioned at one point something about book studies, and then maybe I zoned out and didn't catch all of it. Is it possible for someone, like any teacher, to create content and add sessions? And How does that work? And is it does it go through a vetting process, or what does that look like?
Yeah, great question. We want the modules to certainly have a certain rigor and guidance to them. So as an example, what we've done is if there was a teacher that wanted to set up a book study and create content for that, we would find either a person at the district level or at the State Department of Education that could serve as a hidden facilitator, just to keep a quality control on making sure that the quality is rigorous and that it's not just, we're not seeing this as a Pinterest of sharing ideas or just a chat place. But I think a good example of that is with the boot camp modules. The State Department of Ed set up some guidance for the content of the boot camp modules, but then we have the facilitators at the local districts. So Drew, I believe you're a leader in ELA initiatives. Let's say you had a teacher or some teachers that wanted to organize a book study and you wanted to serve as a facilitator, being the expert in the content and the rigor, then we would set you and that teacher up as an author. The onboarding document that we shared today is for a learner. We also have one for an author. So, and the beauty of that is then you can go even beyond your district. You know, you think about if there's some awesome things going on in Yukon public schools, but you want to have a book study that invites ELA teachers from across the state, we'd love to have you lead and facilitate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great
And
question.
and we would go through, if one would go through you to request
That is
authorship. Is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool.
Wonderful. Any other questions? You've certainly given us a lot of ideas. I'm going to go back and share my screen again. Yep, that document's we have a lot to look at. As we're wrapping up today, there are just a couple things that I would like to leave you with. First of all, we have begun a statewide action plan that is going to be of support to you as you go back into this school year. You may have seen some press releases or heard Superintendent Hoffmeister talk about our Ready Together Oklahoma initiative. And this initiative is one, and Karen can put that link in the chat box. This initiative is one that's focused around 5 main themes. And I think all of these themes would be ones that you would be interested in. You'll notice the 5 themes that run along this gray toolbar. And as you hover over them, different colors will come up. This is a place where guidance documents that are linked to evidence-based research are going to continue to be built throughout the year and even beyond. And so if, for instance, student learning and success is a topic that is of interest to you, if you go there, these guidance documents are very brief, just 2 pages, but they contain multiple links to lots of other resources that may be helpful to you. So wanted to make you aware of our Ready Together Oklahoma initiative. And before we do a final reflection, I'm again displaying my contact information. You can email me or call at any time. I'm also displaying a link again to these slides and a QR code. And the final thing that I'm asking from you today, and Karen and I will stay on certainly, is just a couple minutes of your time to answer 3 questions. I've just got a real quick Google form that I'm just wanting to know what's an idea that you're going to take with you today, any feedback you have about the platform, and your satisfaction with this session today. I'm so thrilled that you took time this morning to join us. This is an exciting day. Like I say, you're the first to see our rebranded name of OSDE Connect. And there is so much more content that is coming. And I'm going to stop my share for a second. There we are. So, and once you have completed that, Karen is also going to be dropping, oh, she just did. There's a link for you to receive a PD certificate for this session that you can add to your professional learning file and share with your administrators. And certainly appreciate your time and your ideas. I always enjoy ending early, so you perhaps have a little bit longer for lunch. And we have more sessions that begin this afternoon, beginning at 1 o'clock to 2:30. And then we will begin again tomorrow morning at 8:30. So we appreciate the opportunity to share a virtual conference with you. Once you've completed that, you can either stay on and ask us some questions. You can head off for the rest of your day. Hopefully you will find some resources to take with you. Karen, do you mind putting your contact info in the chat box? Anyone who, Karen, why don't you go ahead and introduce what your role is so that anyone who's interested in those topics knows they can reach out to you as well.
I am the Director of Education Technology and Computer Science. So yes, I was getting really excited when I saw Google and STEM and computer science. I would love to have you email me questions, comments, concerns, and I will be doing a presentation today at 1 o'clock, and mine is on a blueprint for successful virtual and blended learning, to kind of give you an overview of some of the guidance for some of you that may continue teaching virtually or through blended methods, and share with you a little bit about the information moving forward, the support we're able to provide for you. And Heidi, I'm going to stick that link for the form in just 1 second.
Thanks for that question. Keeping us on our toes. There we go. Session reflection. Thank you for that. And then be sure to grab that PD certificate before you log off. Been great having everyone here today from all over Mustang, Sapulpa, Ponca City, Dixon, Oklahoma. Love seeing all these places.
It's just exciting to see so many people take time out of their summer. I know that y'all have had a long school year, and hopefully you've got a little rest before you jump into planning for the next year.
Absolutely. Yep, we're spanning the state. And this platform provides us OSDE Connect provides us another way to expand our reach across the state and engage in professional learning together. We've got Grove and Hugo and Arcadia, Broken Bow area, Holly Creek, Middale, and then of course people from OKC area, metro area. Thank you all who joined. Karen, I'm glad you got to plug your session this afternoon. It's going to be a good one. Thank you, everyone. Karen, do you want to answer that question? Do you see it about your session?
Yes, both, all of the sessions for Engage will be recorded and posted for viewing. So that, I know it's hard to schedule multiple sessions at the same time, so.
Yes. You can go back after and catch any sessions you could. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. And go do all those fun things you put in the chat box at the beginning that you said you were going to do. Thank you, Sherilyn. We'll be talking soon.
I have just, I mean, it's a whole new world out there right now with these modules.
And aren't you, Sherilyn, aren't you going into your 44th year?
Yes, I am beginning mine all in special ed, all in severe profound ED. And I love every day of it.
Sherilyn, you are just wonderful role model.
Well, thank you. It's all fun, just fun and games, even during last year's, that's my grandson behind me.
That's great.
Last,
Sherilyn, I heard a phrase recently, and I think it just, you exemplify that. We've all heard the phrase lifelong learning, being a lifelong learner, but I also heard lifelong, life-wide learner.
there you go.
I love that. It seems so expansive. We're all
Yes.
lifelong and life-wide learners. And I think that describes what the potential of this platform is, that we can continue learning and we can make it as wide and diverse as we like.
Exactly. And I mean, it touches every facet of our teaching, all the way from our new teachers to seasoned veterans, myself, and, you know, it's just to have the resources is just awesome. And I will be sharing it with, I do talk with a group of UCO students once a semester, and I will be sharing this with them so that they will become aware.
Excellent.
Thank you, ladies, both, and all of you that were instrumental in working with this. So I can't wait to navigate it.
Oh, thank you for your enthusiasm.
Yep, always technology, right?
Great. I'm still enjoying seeing where people are from.
Hi, everyone. This is a future teacher. This is my grandson, Parker. Can you say hi? Hi. Hi, everybody. This has been the biggest joy this summer.
Oh, I bet. Well, have a great day.
All righty. I'm going to leave the meeting. I'll see y'all this afternoon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you again.
Thank you. Melody, are you still on? Because I'll answer your question out loud.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Yes, okay, the module for the first class cohort 3 for secondary teachers, that did end. Those were teachers that went through this past year. We are starting a cohort 4. The reason that module is still there is so that people from the cohort 3 can still go in and access the materials.
Okay.
And these are for first-year teachers. Melody, do you work with first-year teachers or?
Well, yes, I wanted the information.
Okay, so yes, each year we set up modules for the teachers that are going through the first class program. And those modules are still out there from the previous cohorts so that people can go back and access materials if they want to.
So how do you know the difference? How do you know if it's something that's available to do this summer?
You know, that's an interesting question because we have not, there are ways that we can archive modules or remove them so people can't see them anymore. But when we do that, then people that are enrolled can no longer access them. So your question is really prompting me to think about some type of way to indicate that this was a module for a certain cohort and is not just for, you know, general people joining. In fact, I'm kind of interested, I think that module for cohort 3, I thought it was behind a redemption code. So I'll have to go back in and check that. Generally, the way we protect the ones that are for a certain cohort is we keep a redemption code on, and then someone has to have the redemption code to join. So I'll have to go back and check that one. Thank you for making me aware of that.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Karen, if you would like to drop off, I know that you need to get lunch in before your session. So I think we're good to go. I'm monitoring the chat now and certainly appreciate your help.
Okay, thank you.
See you this afternoon.
Bye.
Bye. Looks like we still have a few people on. I'm going to close this meeting in just a couple of minutes. You should have all the links to everything you need. And that will give you time to get to the other sessions this afternoon. I just put a link in the chat box for anyone who wants to go pick your afternoon sessions. All right. I'm going to give it one more minute and then I'm going to close this meeting. Some of you may just be away from your desk right now. Don't see any cameras on, so I'm going to assume that, yeah, looks like people are going off. Well, everyone have a wonderful day and happy learning with the rest of the conference. Thanks for joining.